Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is? Insanity is doing the exact same fucking thing over and over again, expecting shit to change. That is crazy. But the first time somebody told me that, I don't know, I thought they were bullshitting me, so boom, I shot him. The thing is, okay, he was right. And then I started seeing it everywhere I looked, all these fucking pricks. Everywhere I looked, doing the exact same fucking thing, over and over and over and over and over again, thinking, this time is gonna be different. No, please. This time is gonna be different. I'm sorry. I don't like the way you are looking at me, okay? You have a fucking problem in your head. Do you think I'm bullshitting you? Do you think I'm lying? Fuck you, okay? Fuck you. It's okay, man. I'm gonna chill, hermano. I'm gonna chill. The thing is, all right? The thing is, I killed you once already. And it's not like I am fucking crazy. It's okay. It's like water under the bridge. Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
Come to make things right. You and I must.
Hi, I'm Tommy Thompson, and this is AI in Games. Some of the biggest challenges facing modern game development can be found in open-world game design. How to build large, vibrant, and interesting locales for players to explore. Today, we're going to look at how AI can address the challenge of creating interesting and dynamic environments that enhance the overall experience for the player. Having previously discussed similar challenges found in the Director AI system of Valve's Left 4 Dead, and more recently, the two-tier system governing Creative Assembly's Alien Isolation, we look at the ever-increasing game worlds found in Ubisoft's US foreign policy simulator, Far Cry. Far Cry is renowned for its open approach to exploration and problem solving. What originally started out as an open, albeit linear gameplay experience, the series has become increasingly more adventurous in its design as the maps have not only increased in size, but also with the introduction of more interactive environments and wildlife. But achieving this is all rather demanding, given there's a need to balance the player's sense of importance while ensuring they're not bludgeoned repeatedly and are offered some respite. There's also the issue that these massive open expanses need to be properly managed, given it's not computationally feasible nor responsible to leave thousands of non-player characters roaming the Rook Islands or the vast mountain ranges of Kyrat. So how does it all work? The answer, of course, is with a little bit of AI ingenuity through smart directors. This is an increasingly popular way to manage large open-world environments, with much of it stemming from the pioneering works found in Left 4 Dead. But for now, let's look at Far Cry, and how this series has evolved into the franchise it is now, and take a peek at some of the secrets behind their AI implementation. The original Far Cry game launched back in 2004 as an action-heavy first-person series that gave the illusion of open-world gameplay through its large, albeit limited, gameplay areas. Meanwhile, Far Cry 2, launching in 2008, was the first in the series to truly embrace the notions of open-world gameplay and, more importantly, systemic design. The ability to have a range of independent systems and mechanics that can be combined in fun and interesting ways, all with the intent of creating an emergent gameplay experience where players exploit the systemic design to full effect. But it didn't quite pan out. Far Cry 2 is a bit of a frustrating experience, largely because these systems were not properly balanced or constrained. But starting with Far Cry 3 in 2012, the systems within the game reached a level of maturity that improved the experience overall. The systemic framework in Far Cry 3 achieved what Ubisoft themselves referred to as the Anecdote Factory, a system that would create weird, wonderful, and individual experiences you would talk about with your friends. Meanwhile, 2014's Far Cry 4 attempted to master that which Far Cry 3 achieved, while also addressing some of its criticisms, notably the balance of having the systemic framework operating in and around a linear narrative. The vast majority of this systemic framework is reliant upon non-player character AI, ranging from the enemies to the civilians, allied fighters, and animals that prowl the open world maps. It just needs to know where and when to put them in the world. See, it's not as simple as just leaving them there until the player bumps into them. The scale of the world of Far Cry is very impressive, with the Rook Islands of the third game estimated to be around 300 square miles in size. That's a lot of ground to cover, and given you would need thousands of non-player characters within that space to make it interesting, you suddenly have a difficult design problem to solve. This leads us to Far Cry's dirty little secret, that at any point in time, the game is only maintaining active non-player characters within less than 500 meters of the player, with enemy characters and animals being added and removed to and from the world as the player moves around. This is highly pragmatic, given that leaving large numbers of characters in the game at once is highly expensive. We'd be wasting not just memory to store these NPCs, but potentially CPU cycles if we continued to update the state of the AI in these characters during play. We're not interested in whether a tiger decides to attack a gazelle miles away from the player, because put simply, if the player doesn't see it, it didn't happen. The non-player characters, or NPCs within the game, are designed to react and behave in a context-driven fashion, to attack, evade, or explore areas of the map based on what's happening around them. This is driven by finite state machines, a topic we've covered at length in our videos on First Encounter Assault Recon and Batman Arkham Asylum. Many of these NPCs, be they enemies, civilians, or animals, are designed to react to nearby stimuli in an appropriate fashion. The responses are reliant upon a rich navigation mesh that is embedded into the game world, with some smart object nodes placed in areas of interest that can trigger specific animations. While they know how to react intelligently, it does not factor whether any other characters are in proximity. In fact, enemy NPCs are rather limited tactically, which becomes more apparent when you play the likes of Far Cry 4 in the online cooperative mode. Despite this, they're still a cracking shot, and a separate damage director system manages their shooting capabilities based on the number of NPCs in the scene, so you don't get insta-killed by 6 headshots from 100 meters away. In order to maintain decent performance, given that these games not only have to run efficiently on PC, but also between console generations, the director AI enforces constraints on the number of systemic elements that are active at any point in time. This includes the number of enemy NPCs, but also animals and items, such as vehicles, given the additional computational load they bring with them. In fact, in Far Cry 3, the numbers are really limited, with a maximum of 12 NPCs in the world at once, and up to 20 animals, with vehicles also limited to around 2 or 3 types at any point in time. The relevance of these characters are measured frequently, with the director moving or deleting characters if it's apparent they're too far away and won't ever interact with the player. If you're running in a particular direction, the system will spawn enemies in front of you, factoring not only your heading, but your current speed, thus ensuring they don't just pop up in front of you. This system was enhanced for Far Cry 4 to create more interesting and varied events. Placing the NPCs in the world is one thing, but placing them in specific configurations related to one another can result in the player becoming involved in more engaging experiences. As such, Far Cry 4 introduced a dynamic encounter method that procedurally creates events within proximity of the player, such as enemy NPCs in combat against Kyrat's wildlife. This pays attention to your current objectives, sometimes putting them in the way, or focuses on completed tasks, like having a recently captured outpost come under attack again by the local militia. use of dynamic director systems has become increasingly popular for open world game environments, with titles such as Saints Row 4, Titanfall, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt all adopting these in some fashion or another, with their own unique design problems to solve. But this isn't the only innovations that the Far Cry series continues to make, with the more recent entry Far Cry Primal introducing companion AI in the form of tamed animals. This is in fact an extension of the AI system used for the Tiger Companion in the Strangula sequence of Far Cry 4. We'll be back at a later date to talk about how that works in lots of juicy detail. With that, we're rounding up on this video. I'm Tommy Thompson, and this has been AI in Games. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more AI goodness and Scottish disquisition. See you next time. The AI in Games series is sponsored on Patreon, and a big thank you as always goes to our supporters on screen now. To learn more, head over to patreon.com/AI in Games. And don't forget the underscores.